All right, folks, welcome to episode 7 of the Deep Fried Friends. We're going to call this Fun and Gun with Friends. We're going to talk about our firearms, first firearms, favorite firearms, dream firearms, etc. We're not going to try to get too political. The one thing I will start off and advocate and say is always be careful with a firearm. It is not a toy, it is a tool, and it will kill you just like a knife, a spoon, or a car. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my friends and co-hosts here. Big Man Elk.
How's it going?
The belt-fed sniper, Spanky.
Hey.
And the Sasquatch father-to-be, Swooky.
False information there. Waka waka, keep your booger hook off the trigger finger. Oh, shit. Keep your booger hook off the trigger. God damn it. Anyway, continuing on.
Wait, time out.
Nope. Continuing on. No. Continuing on. Mac, apparently. Anyway.
Mac, apparently what?
Yeah, what Mac do? No, time out. We ain't even talking about guns yet, motherfucker.
Wait. We might have a new topic here. What's he talking about?
What's he talking about, Willis?
Mac's going on old information. You'll be checking Discord in a second.
Oh,
Do we have
my
little fuzzy
apologies.
feet coming?
I'm fucking confused.
Hold on. Check Discord in a second.
That's without saying anything, Elkin.
I don't know how to work the interwebs. It scares me.
I know how to work the interweb. I don't know how to work this goddamn Streamlabs shit. Now, fuck off.
Way to go, dickhead.
Okay,
Oh.
continuing on with the topic of 2A, let's
It's like fucking drop kitten a fucking box of fucking kittens in front of an orphanage.
It's okay. It's all right.
That's it, Matt. Give me the keys. I'm driving.
Well, this
fucking,
episode is about
asshole.
guns, and you are the most experienced with firearms, so we're going to let you run this rodeo.
I'm not sure how you transition from that to that.
Well,
We're just going to drop it in fourth gear, grind the gears, and fucking do what we got to do.
all right. Well, I guess we'll start off with how you got into them. Like, what was your first experiences? And I'll start off with mine. And I'll pass it around. So, my first experiences would be probably about 7 years old with a BB gun, and then creeping up around, I don't know what age, 10, 12, to more real firearms, mostly shitty shotguns and 22s and whatnot. And that really got me into it. Now, by the way, a lot of people dog on iron sights and shit nowadays, and because everybody's spoiled with all kinds of optics and shit. But I actually learned how to shoot and shoot really good, trigger discipline, aiming, all that kind of shit. Shooting just a Daisy BB gun. Because if you can hit shit at 50 fucking yards with a damn $50 Walmart fucking BB gun, you're pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of got my little start into it. And then eventually, when I became an adult, I sort of dove into gunsmithing, and that really sealed the deal for me. Built my first 1911, and then it's been just downhill ever since, in a huge money pit. So that was my little quick start, I guess. What about you, bud?
About the same way. I mean, first thing I shot was a BB gun, and then got handed like the family 22. I don't even know. It's so old. I don't even know what model it is or what it is or anything. I know it loads from the butt and it's light as shit. But I don't really have really like a gun collection right now. I mean, I'm eventually gonna work on getting one. But all I got right now is like hunting rifles, like a 243 and that 22.
And that's acceptable. I mean, like I said, guns are a huge money pit. Anybody who's, well, I guess got any adult hobbies like Jeeps or hot rods or fucking,
Fuck off with the
hell,
adult hobbies, okay?
hell, even cars and shit. in general, just it's a fucking money pit.
Some of us aren't mentally grown up yet, okay?
Look, we all know about your handicap, okay?
The biggest is the smallest.
I mean,
Hey, tell them about me tending the rabbits, Mac.
just a big puppy.
We can talk about mentality and other things.
All right. You got anything else you want to add to your, I don't know, little beginnings? You kind of started off the same way, just tinkering around, but you don't
No,
really have a.
No, I don't really have a collection. I mean, like I said, it's just those two, and I mean, pretty much
All
just
right.
want to go hunting.
Well, we'll hit a little deeper into that here in a minute. Mac, what about you, bud?
Ironically, even though
Springfield Model 1855.
You son of a bitch. No, ironically, growing up in the suburbs of Houston, didn't have any access to guns, not even BB guns. So it wasn't until we moved up here to the outskirts of St. Louis that I finally got a BB gun at 10 for my birthday. And then got my first actual firearm, a Marlin 22 semi-auto, when I completed a book report on the Anglo-Zulu War from one of my dad's good friends who was also the one who then properly taught me gun safety and hunting and took me out and shot a Remington in, what was it? 223. I don't remember the model, so it might have been a Remington 300 or something. And he taught me how to hunt by shooting gophers coming out of the grounds. And I echo your sentiment on iron sights, like between the BB gun and the 22 and that Remington. I was deadly with that with any type of iron sight. So getting in the Marine Corps was super easy because of that background.
It really does help, especially something like a BB gun. You can shoot one of those all day, all week for like no money at all. So you sit there and practice and practice and practice. Plus, you have to deal with drop and shit like that a lot sooner than you do with every damn thing else. So it is pretty nice.
What the hell did you just pull up, Mac?
The wrong page. Leave me alone.
So, fun fact for everybody about Mac.
He's old.
Oh yes, back in the day, he actually took Moses' staff from him and handed him a 1911 to part the river.
I thought he was actually hanging out with the Chinese when they invented gunpowder.
No,
Who do you think stole it from them unsatisfactory little bastards?
But that's a quick little dirty story on how the 1911 became the God gun.
That's what he sent Mac into Sodom and Gomorrah to clear it out with. Just dual 1911s.
Clear out Sodom and Gomorrah. I was trying to run people off. That was my town.
God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, and he gave Mac the 1911.
Yeah, he created Adam and Eve, and they're like, "Who's that guy?" They're like, "Oh, that's just Mac. He was here when I fucking got here."
All right. Now, Swookie, how about your starting time? Let's stop shitting on the old man.
Oh, God, I think you get charged with that.
We'll come back to that. Don't you worry.
Don't say that. We get charged with that shit. Abuse the elderly.
So, I guess, just a similar story as everybody else here. Started off with a BB gun. I can remember shooting my first gun when I was 3 years old. Dad took me out to the range with a 22. Just had fun with it. Come from, a military family, and my dad was is a cop still. And so gun safety has always been priority. And it's actually what I'm planning on passing down to my little Swookie. Actually bought him his first 10 Ruger 1022 for Christmas. Actually, Santa brought it to him. And I have a scope for it and scope mount and everything, but I'm teaching him to shoot with irons because that's how, like we all said, we learned with irons. If you can shoot with irons, you damn sure better be able to shoot with a scope. So, and he's actually a really good shot. And just like everything he does, he's natural. He keeps his arm, he doesn't chicken wing it, he keeps his arm tucked. I didn't teach him that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. First gun I ever owned was one handed down to me from my grandfather, was a old 1022, or excuse me, not 1022, 22 long rifle, or 22 Magnum over 410 double barrel. And It's nickel plated with a 24 karat gold trigger. Beautiful gun. It's got like pheasant on one side of it and a fox in the other. Beautiful gun. And then
Be fancy.
and as I got older for Christmas, my dad gave me a SIG P250 subcompact, which maybe not be the best model of SIG, but that's in our family. In our family, SIG reigns supreme. I love that gun. It shoots great.
It's
Yeah.
a step above a yeet cannon. So
I'm
there
sorry.
you go.
I just saw Crimps coming.
Yeah, but that's about my growing up with guns. Spanky, take it back.
It's easy to do a book report on the Anglo-Zulu War when you're old enough to remember.
Yep, there we go.
Welcome
Pretty
to
sure-
Deep Fried Friends podcast.
Pretty sure Max already walked off now.
It's just rolling in his room. Fuck these guys, I'm tired of this shit.
Trying to figure out how if I have the power to ban him out of the Discord or not.
Who, me? No.
Shit.
I can leave, but then just poof.
I mean, you could server mute him, and that would fix it for you.
I don't think they have the power to server mute me.
No, it's not fair and it's not right.
But it is funny.
That it is.
All
That
right.
it is.
All right, so everybody kind of started off the same, same little shitty guns. Starting out with learning how to, 243.
Yeah, Grandpa gave Daddy, and Daddy gave to me.
Well, how about this? So after obviously most people generally have the same starting point with firearms, BB gun, the 22, the progression. I'll give you a little story. Let's see if anybody has a similar story. So my old man, after I learned how to shoot, and we both did the gun safety course together, even though he was in Vietnam and he knew how to handle firearms, he decided it would be funny to teach me how to shoot his Dan Wesson Model K 357. He is an asshole, and he put 5 rounds of 38 and 1 round of 357 Magnum without telling me, and then said, "You tell me which round is which." I think y'all know how that little experiment ended.
Yeah.
That's very similar to what we did. My buddy's little brother. You familiar with turkey rounds for 12 gauge?
Oh, yeah.
You're an asshole.
The super nitro, like fucking 2 ounce shot shit of like a 3.5 inch fucking So we had him, the gun held what was it, 3-4 rounds, whatever. Like 2 of them were just 2 3/4 bird shot, and of course the last one was nothing but pain. And I mean, his little brother is still a kid, he's like 5 foot, probably weighs like 80 pounds soaking wet. It is recoiling pretty good on him just with those 2 3/4, pow, just rocking back and pow, rocking back. He hit that fucking 3.5 inch turkey load and sent his ass straight to the ground. And I swear there was an imprint of his back in the ground. He's just laying there like, what the fuck just happened? And the shotgun just went kind of rolling past him and shit.
Y'all could have been normal older brothers and just fucking sent his ass, snipe hunting. Break his shoulder right now.
See, hell, everybody knows about snipe hunting, or at least they used to. It might be
No, we still got a lot of motherfuckers with that snipe hunting trick.
I'm pretty sure there's people that are listening right now that don't know what the fuck a snipe is.
Elk's been snipe hunting 4 times.
Maybe it's coming back around because everybody I knew fucking was
Fuck you!
aware
I caught that bitch.
I'm sure you did.
You caught something.
It might have been a possum, and they might have got pissed off when I said, "Look at my kitty," and let it go in the car. But hey,
I heard they make a cream for that.
Of course, Graham doesn't know what snipe hunting is.
Well, you should come. We'll take you out. We'll take you out, Graham. It'd be a blast.
You sweet, innocent summer child.
So what you do is, right, we take you to the woods, and
Oh,
you get a
God.
trash bag and a stick and a flashlight. Now, the snipe is a very elusive animal, right? It's a one-legged bird. It's the craziest shit you ever seen in your life. And you throw the
Decades?
flashlight in the bag, and you make the call. Here's Snappy, Snappy, Snappy. And you do that a couple times, and they'll come running out of the woods into the bag, and you caught a snipe.
Can't believe they gave you a flashlight.
You didn't get a flashlight?
No, he said fleshlight.
No, those weren't even a thing yet.
I know it was terrible.
I did have
I had to stick my penis in something real. It was weird.
I did have a
Right?
similar.
House money.
Jesus Christ. I did have a similar experience to what
You got to pay for your
put-
first piece too.
No, what Spanky put his friend through. And
Yeah,
I'm
sorry,
done.
Graham. We can't all sit around in the fucking war rubble of the fucking Blitz and fucking talk about how rough it is over here, bruv.
Did you just have a stroke?
Oh yeah. Yeah, just tell him what you think about the Tea Party.
Tea sucks. I'm glad we threw it in the water. Okay, go on, Swookie.
Didn't have any
Yeah,
sugar.
just Swiggy, take it.
That fell
For the
flatter
old
than
man.
Elk's fucking last haircut.
For the old man go to war.
I got handed an 8 gauge one time, and I
Good
was
God.
told, yeah, they were like, "Oh, it don't kick." Like, okay. Then after I was picking my ass up off the ground,
I mean, it
was
is
like,
smaller than 12. I mean, 8, 12, you know.
yeah.
It's
12's
smaller.
bigger number. That motherfucker.
said-
Woo. Ooh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was dusting myself off for a little while. I'm not gonna lie, but it's still fun experience. I don't mind it. You know, same thing with shooting the 50 AE Desert Eagle. You know, I was a little more prepared going into that experience and didn't knock my teeth out, but still, man, hand cannon, that thing. Whew.
You know, I
Yeah.
personally hate recoil. I don't shoot guns that have a lot of recoil because it just pisses me off.
I'm not a fan of
Which-
it either, but it's still fun to experience. You know, I mean, for once or twice, and then yeah, I'd prefer my guns to have 0 recoil because
Mac,
Well,
you got to
yeah.
read Graham's thing in your accent.
No.
Yes, come on,
No.
please.
I can read what he's reading, and Graham's English accent isn't as bad as some of those fucking Geordie cunts that are from England.
You like Adam.
What's he talking about there? How he kept Lizzie's fucking bed warm during the Blitz?
No, the comment was, I remember walking through a park devastated by a hurricane. I didn't even know England ever had hurricanes, so that blew my mind. There's a hurricane in the 80s, and some old women were looking at the fallen trees saying, oh no, they survived the Blitz.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was
All
missing a lot of character and enthusiasm there.
All
Let me
right,
get through my
so-
second beer. Maybe I'll reread it with a little more enthusiasm there, James.
Well, you can reread it here in a minute.
No
Let's move
problem,
on.
Rob.
Get the fuck up. We're moving on. So tell me your favorite, if you could, like, get whatever the fuck you wanted. What would it be and why? Elk.
Like a unicorn gun?
Yeah.
Like a unicorn gun.
Yeah, Elky. Tell me. Elky.
I want a punt gun.
Punt gun. Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
You want to tell everybody what a punt gun is?
So imagine like a really oversized, cartoonishly drawn shotgun, and that's how they used to go duck hunting back in the day for a lot of ducks. You know, it's just this giant ass fucking shotgun.
Like the son of a bitch would go from the ass end of a canoe to the front, propped up.
So there's actually a story of a guy mounting 2 of these on a fucking boat. And the only thing I'm thinking of is how fast he skidded across the fucking water.
Yeah, I bet. No, they're huge and
I was trying to
ridiculous.
figure out. I was trying to see if they actually showed like the actual how long they were.
Yeah, the
So
puck gun is like the freaking redneck version of the freaking Arab Jazeel.
So it's a single shot could kill over 50 waterfowl resting on the water surface. The recoil was so large they had to be mounted directly on punts used for hunting, hence their name. But, I was trying to actually see if it had a size.
They were probably all like
musket. Quite a bit.
Yeah, they were also all custom built back in the day. So
it's got a guns of similar size or application. Anti-material rifle, anti-tank rifle, elephant gun, wall gun, organ gun, a volley gun, a Zamburak, and a Java Arquebus.
Java Arquebus.
Sure, that's what I said.
Yeah, I don't know anything about all that shit.
What the fuck is a Zamburak? What the fuck is this?
I don't know. You'd have to get like King in here to talk about that shit.
That's who we should have had on as a guest.
It's a form of self-propelled artillery.
We're about to bring him on and talk about more shit later.
Yeah.
So,
could bring him on to debate the benefits of AK versus AR.
Oh God.
Yeah, actually, he might enjoy that. We need to talk to him about what he might like. Anyway, Mac, what is your unicorn, if you could?
Unicorn?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, what's your absolute favorite? If you could get it, what would it be?
Obviously a fowl. I'll take any fowl, an R1, a Belgian fowl. Maybe not a British or Australian SLR, but a traditional fowl itself. If I could somehow, some way get my hands on an authentic Rhodesian fowl, which are the unicorn of unicorns, but if I just take a fowl, like I've got one ordered, but DSA is so back ordered with guns, I don't expect to get it until next year. But that's the gun I've always wanted for a very long time, because we had a joke in the 90s when I first started learning about guns. When I was preparing for the Marine Corps, I was trying to shoot every gun I could get my hands on so I knew what I was handling, for my experience and being the best and most informed grunt that I could be. And the one guy who had a foul and let me shoot it said, "Be careful, she's known to knock people off her feet, and that's the term I've fallen and I can't get up."
That was a horrible joke.
Waka.
That was the first time I heard a dad joke, when realizing it was a dad joke. I just kind of looked at him like, that's bad.
Like I fucking laughed at Airplane, and that shit wasn't even comical.
That is hilarious.
There's nothing wrong with the SLR, Graham. It's just, if I'm going to go for that gun, I want a foul over an SLR. The SLRs that the Brits and the Aussies made, absolutely gorgeous weapons, fantastic. It's just, you don't beat the original. It's the right arm of the free world.
And I walked all past the fouls back in the day to go the G3 route instead.
See, I love the G3. I'm a huge HK guy, so I'm with you. Like, that sucker's so close right there. Oh, it's so beautiful. That's why I wish I had the money to buy yours off you.
So, do you know why I actually picked it over fouls as far as diving deep into them? There's two reasons. One's kind of obvious. The other one's a little bit more technical. The technical reason is I really liked them because they're extremely different in how they operate, and that's pretty cool. I like it. You got the HK slap. There's no gas system in them. They are even worse than what people say about AR-15s, where they shit where they eat. You know what I mean? Because they get stupid fucking dirty, but they just fucking work. They're cool as hell, and actually, they're a real big important piece of history, just like the foul is. But the second reason, probably the main reason I didn't get into them, was the G3 was cheaper, and it still is.
Yeah, the foul has a following, kind of like ARs and AKs do. The G3, unfortunately, like you said, it's because it's by HK, it's automatically assumed or presumed to be more expensive. It's more finicky. and it doesn't quite have the history. Like, at least with Americans, we're like, oh, we had the M14, the rest of NATO had the FAL, just like we have the M16/AR-15 versus the Soviet bloc has the AK. So the G3 is a real weird gun in the fact that it was handled by the Germans, the Portuguese, and a few other smaller militaries that didn't adopt either the NATO or Soviet bloc weapons.
I think Sweden and Argentina.
Argentina had FALs because that's why
Argentina. Somebody down there had G3s also.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, Pedro, one of our little
he's Portuguese.
One of our buddies. Yeah, they were using G3s up until recently.
Yeah, they were still using. Yeah, they were still using G3s till 2000. Whiplash, that's on the Savage game design team with me. He's in the Portuguese military, and he said he was trained on the G3.
Yeah, Pedro was too, because he used to show me pictures of them and everything. Because I was like, just I'll give you my address, just short, just that whole fucking box full of them. Just send them this way, bud.
Yeah, there's no laws or anything against that.
No.
Not if it floats onto shore. That's just legitimate salvage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's I don't know, the shipwreck, and yeah, found them.
Yeah, because that happens all the time.
Absolutely.
And it's not like big titty blondes fall out of the sky,
Well,
waka.
Depends on the city you're in.
Felt like the right time for a dogma joke.
All right, so Swoogie, what about you, bud?
I actually have two. One of them is BAR. Like, I want a BAR so bad.
So you want to work out while shooting? Got you.
Yeah. If
20
you think
pound rifle.
Think that one's good. Then I also want an M60. Those are my two.
Oh, the pig! How I love thee.
I love the pig.
That's closer to my heart. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I mean, it's like it's kind of like an M60 or an MG42. Those three guns are the three guns that I would love to have. I mean, the BAR was it was iconic to me, and I would love to have a Garand too. But it's just I love the BAR. I love the sleekness of it. It was just a beefy ass gun. It was great. And then, of course, he who shall not be named, Buzzsaw, was amazing as well. I mean...
You mean his typewriter?
Yeah, no. What? It wasn't his typewriter. It was his Buzzsaw. It was the Chicago typewriter, and then...
That was the Thompson.
Mr. Mustache's man's Buzzsaw.
I've heard it called his typewriter, too.
You were the only person I've ever heard call it that.
See, for me, the BAR is iconic to Bonnie and Clyde, and then and then you got the MG42, which is the grandfather of the modern squad machine gun. It's everything is based off of it.
I mean, look at the M60. It looks just like one. It's just a little bit beefier, and I mean, if you really do put them side by side,
you can tell they're related. It's not as bad as the MG3, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the chunky sound of the M60 is great, and I just heard stories about people cutting trees down with the sons of bitches, and just I don't know. I like squad automatic weapons, or LMGs. I love them. They're great. I mean, obviously Spanky shares that love. He's the belt-fed sniper. But yeah, I gotta say that.
Damn right.
Yeah, those three are probably the top of I would never own, but would love to if I could, just have that magical wish machine. Hey, give me those three guns and the ammo to go with it. God bless.
I haven't looked at them in a while, but BARs used to not be terrible. They were foul-ish in prices.
And there was a company here right before the pandemic that started building fresh new BARs.
Like actual old school builds?
Yeah, like with the wood furniture, and they got the license to rebuild like actual BARs for civilian use.
Would it have been Ohio ordinance? Because it sounds like something they would do.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. I remember it showing up 2019 because Guy Half Health that Elk and I both know from our DayZ days, he posted it one day knowing that I have an affinity for BARs as well.
Cause I sent Spanky one for the Ohio Ordnance Company because they made a modern BAR.
Yeah, it is Ohio ordinance because it's this is as of April 5th, 2012. One of our BAR Ohio ordinance making M1918 Browning automatic rifle.
Yeah,
Nice.
They also-
M18s.
Because they also have 249s and 240s on their website.
I want the 240.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then if you go to their website, there's also another another dream gun I want, but it's like $25,000 out of the.
But hey, we're not
Ooh.
talking price here. This is a safe space. You can
And
talk
we
about it.
and we are in no means sponsored by Ohio, but if they would love to sponsor us and maybe potentially give us free samples or bring us out to play for a day, we are all in. All in.
Okay, so let's see here.
I mean, I'd donate a car first to shoot, honestly.
Yeah.
So on their website, okay, they only have one in stock. It's an original solo Thurn S18 1000 Swiss anti-tank gun.
Oh, Jesus.
It includes 2 spare magazines, 100 rounds of original ammo, and 100 reloading projectiles in a carrying cart. Great. It's $35,000.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I do
I'd
have a
rather
buddy
just
that
buy
has
a
a 20.
Barrett.
And then also under transferable, they have a World War II. I'm gonna fuck this name up. Chedelaral.
You know, you can post the links in chat. You're a mod if you want to post it in the Twitch chat.
Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce what you just said. So, like, if we're talking $35,000 firearms, I should have just said an M134 minigun. Let me
Right.
walk around like fucking Jesse Ventura, fucking Predator style.
Well,
there's
I
the link.
kind of prefer it to be actually something you could walk around with because you ain't gonna walk around with M134.
That's
You can also get a M2.
Also,
Or,
not gonna
you
walk
gotta
around with
email-
them too.
But you have to email for a quote. But the new bar that they have is called the HCAR, and
No,
it
that
varies
was
from
horrible and ugly.
4,700 to 5,300.
You were showing me that.
But
Yeah.
but Spanky, it has Pictony rails on a bar. Don't you want?
No.
But I can put lights and optics and lasers and all types of good stuff. Isn't this how we play the Tarkov?
For the money, I'd buy a Scar first.
That's like
There's number 2. I forgot Scar.
that's that fucking stupid ass show that came on Discovery Channel where the owner ended up turning into a piece of fucking shit that should be buried under the jail. Anyway, Red Jacket Firearms, and they did that fucking episode where they took
Hot daughter.
they did that episode where they took a fucking classic Thompson, a full
She can
auto
check out my
Thompson,
barrel.
and they turned it into a modern. It was disgusting. They turned it into a tactical modern firearm, and it just made my heart cry. Let's see if I find a picture of it right quick.
I've seen that as well with like fucking Sterlings and just no. There's a point when you just don't need to put Pictony rails and all the new shit on it. Like iron sights are good. Like I don't, again, maybe I'm just going to show my age, but like even with the modern military is training Marines and soldiers how to shoot with ACOGs and optics right in basic. Like I think that they need to be taught with iron sights, just like in any sport. You start off with the fundamentals. You have to have solid fundamentals, and then you give them all the special tools and special toys and extra skills. But at the end of the day, if those optics get shot off or broken or the battery goes dead or whatever happens, you can look at your iron sights and know what you're doing and not have a problem. And the problem is the modern military is based off of technologies and gadgets, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They had optics back then?
We had one optic per squad.
The fuck did it look like? A broken beer bottle?
It looked like a hunting scope. because that was what the DMR had. He had an M14 with a hunting scope. Everybody else had an M16A2. I got the special little sights on the side of mine because I had a 203 underslung. I thought I was fancy dancy because I could fucking put a blooper in a fucking foxhole at 100 yards easy.
All right.
I love my 40 mics.
Hell yeah. So, all right, I guess I'll give out my unicorn. And it would be, I don't know if everybody here's heard of it. It's an HK-51 Bravo.
I know the 51, yeah.
And for those who don't know, I'm going to post it over here in the Discord too.
Oh yeah, isn't that the
It's
yeah?
the fucking.
It's an HK-23, which is a 7.62 by 51, or same goddamn thing as a 240, chopped down into an MP5 size. Belt fit.
I knew your crazy ass wanted that shit.
Oh my god, that shit's amazing.
Because
The last one I actually seen for sale, like legit for sale, there's one on Gunbroker not too long ago for a retarded amount, but the last one I
that's
seen
fucking
legit for
stupid.
sale was $31,000. That's transferable. With the fun switch.
With the giggle
I can't
switch.
imagine there's a whole lot of them out there.
No, they're custom built. They're not an actual real
okay.
fucking deal.
Yeah.
Like companies make these. I think the history on them was they're based on an idea that the British SAS had about chopping down machine guns to use for sneaky breaky shit.
Sneaky breaky shit.
In reality, like 308 or 7.62 and that length of barrel is actually pretty fucking useless. But it's so goddamn cool.
It would be so great for freaking CQB.
Do you know how pissed off the old fuckers at the FUD range that I go shoot at would be if I went out there and dumped a 250 round belt just nonstop with something like that?
That short of a barrel, oh my god.
Especially if I put a loudencer on it instead of a silencer.
I don't think they would even let you walk on the range as soon as you started to try to put a belt in that. They'd be like, no.
Oh, no. It'd be more like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Which HK is it? The one that's the MP5 that's chambered in 5.56? Is that the 53?
And 93.
I just remember. Okay, I just remember that one from as a kid because somebody actually had one of those, and I was like, "What in the shit is that?"
43.
One of my buddies in Virginia had a legit street sweeper.
It's hard for me to remember all those because it's called a 43, 53, and then the imports are like 93s or some shit. But it's a HK-33 is the 5.56. Well, it was introduced as HK-33 and designated HK-43 and then imported as a 93.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot of imports.
Very confusing.
Yeah.
So the gun nerd is getting real strong in here.
Ew,
well, actually, you'll see the 7.62 variant with the fluctuating capacitor.
No, literally listening to King and Jerkin talk, and they can actually tell you if it's a right hand twist, a left hand twist, how many times.
So now follow me on this. The HK-51 Bravo. And now this is, of course, not even thinking about the money because this would be retardedly expensive and cost a lot of money to shoot.
Just say the word.
Yes, you can.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Continue.
Anyway, you confuse the shit out of me.
They keep yelling at me because you and I keep saying retard. We're not allowed to say that, supposedly. We're not saying it about people. We're saying it's an idea. Because you can say retardant in the form of clothing and a fire extinguisher.
IR1. Anyway, 300 blackout. that motherfucker in 300 blackout with a can on it would be just tits. That would be hotness, and it would sell so good. Even for like retarded money.
Yes. Yes. You know, and that's another one of my, like, I guess you could say modern day kind of dream guns. Is I would like a honey badger. I mean, I like those guns. I like the way they look, you know, especially one with the fun switch, suppressed, all the good stuff.
So the honey badger's cool, which I mean it was one of the earlier ones that was made the 300 black kind of popular and shit, or was bringing it back, I guess.
Mhm.
But they make actually, or hell, not even make. You can build your own shit that is just as fucking cool. The stuff that
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
and then the only reason like the 300 black is really cool is because it works well at such a short fucking barrel. I mean, you can literally shoot it out of something pistol sized, and it still does pretty damn good because it's just so
Yeah.
fucking slow. Um, Slow and quiet as shit. It's actually kind of awesome. My reason why I don't fucking have 300 black anymore, because I had one, is it's, well, at the time before ammo went through the roof, it was over $1 round to shoot, and the ballistics were really no better than an AK 7.62,
Hmm.
which was at the time about 16 rounds or 16 cents a round to shoot, not
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
And when you're somebody like me who was buying 2 to 3,000 rounds a month, and sometimes every other month, depending on if I was home or not, that gets expensive.
I think he might have been on people's lists. Just know that.
Me? No, I don't buy near as much ammo as a lot of people I actually know. Like, there's a dude that comes in the local gun shop, and he probably spends 40 to 50,000 a year in there. Like, I swear he keeps the gun shops rolling around here. Like this dude is who I aspire to be, because when he orders ammo, he orders a pallet of ammo
Oh,
and he shoots it.
all right,
Yeah.
Jeb, your weekly supply is here. Shall I get the forklift warmed up? Sure thing. Let me pull the 350 around. Just drop it in the bed.
This
We
guy's
don't-
actually the dude who I sold my B&T APC9 Pro to, which I don't know if y'all know what the fuck that is, but it's a retardedly expensive 9mm subgun, and the Army just adopted them. But
Nice.
in my area, it's pretty hard to sell something like that, because you're talking, a $3,000 subgun. Pretty fucking hard to sell it to most people, because most people are looking for, I'm just looking for a $300 gun. Like, I haven't touched a $300 gun in like 10 years, you know? They're
Be
like, well,
gone
how
from
much?
my presence, pores.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, how much was that thing? That thing's pretty cool. I might want to get one of them. Oh, I got, $3,500 in it. They go, you know what? I think I'll pass. Do they have like a cheaper one? I'm like, no.
Yeah, they got a Marlin 22 on the wall you can grab.
But I actually sold that motherfucker to him, because I went in out here, and he was in there looking for a B&T. He was looking for the same damn thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I got one of them. He was, really? He's like, I've been dying for one. He's like, you want to sell yours? I'm like, I ain't really thought about it. I kind of fucking like it. He was, I'll give you X amount for it. It was close to $3,500, which I didn't pay that much for it. I paid like $2,800 for it. But he was just dying for one. I was like, you know what? Meet me here. We'll do a deal. All right, fucking pop the trunk, swap the stuff, do a little deal in the parking lot somewhere. And that's how I got rid of my fucking B&T, which I actually miss. That's probably the only gun I actually liked as much, if not more, than MP5.
Yeah, I want more guns.
Yeah, I would love the money to have it as well. Okay, okay, Spanky, you kind of dancing around this. Let's go ahead and have the old debate. Bullpups, good, bad, or other?
I fucking overall hate them. Like, even though I recently got a Steyr AUG, and it's nice. Out of the bullpups I've shot, which is the both of the Tavors that's come out, the old one and the newer one, a couple of the RFBs, FS 2000, and probably a couple other. Oh, I've even shot the new Desert Tech, the MDR. Out of all of them, I actually like the AUG the most out of those.
So the old
Which,
G.
yeah, which I've heard a lot of people say, I fucking, the AUGs are fucking awesome and shit. I'm like, really? Australia actually has something that's good? So,
Austria.
no, it's Australian military rifle.
Yeah, but it was made by the Austrians in the 70s.
Really, Mac, I know this. But
Okay, good. I'm just
I'm saying
for,
the Australians actually have something that's
yeah,
good.
the
I know the
Australian
Austrians
A3.
do. I mean, they're too close to Germany to not know how to make a
Yeah, and
fucking gun. All
Steyr is
right.
just a fantastic company.
Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't really expect I didn't really expect them to have such a good rifle, and I enjoyed shooting it. I'm still like asking people if they want to buy it before I fall in love with it, because I ain't fell in love with it, but probably gonna end up keeping it.
I've always liked the AUG, and it was the poster child for the Clinton assault weapons ban because it's just the big scary looking gun with its futuristic plastic furniture and the fact that it didn't look like a traditional firearm by American standards. And bullpups are still highly disliked by a large number of people, including most militaries.
And there's a reason for that. They're like they're a niche gun, right? There's certain applications where,
See,
yeah, I can
see,
definitely
here's the.
see.
I just don't understand why it's such a niche gun. Just because the magazine and the action are farther back, and it doesn't feel as comfortable to reload as, say, an AR or an AK, doesn't mean the gun is any less effective. And everybody's talked about it. Even freaking Ian Fleming, Gun Jesus, talks about the fact that you have the shorter package for the same amount of barrel length and firepower.
Nobody wants
And
a short package, Mac.
if it's got all the same bang, it does the same thing, it don't matter. We're not talking about porn stars, we're talking about bang bangs.
All right, continue. Also, it's not about it being small and everything. It's other issues, really.
Like I didn't get a whole lot of experience with it beforehand, but it was at one point in time we were playing with mock-ups of them because they wanted to see the difference of how the average Marine felt about a bullpup compared to the regular gun. And a vast majority of Marines didn't like it because it felt uncomfortable. I liked it because when we were doing CQB training, I could turn a corner. This is before every Marine was issued an M4A1. This was still, again, the M16A2s. This was long guns. The Brits had the L85, which, when it first came out, was a steaming pile of shit. The A2 finally fixed most of those problems.
Yeah, thank you, HK.
Yeah, the Steyr AUG was fantastic. I've had the privilege of shooting the first Tavor. Loved that gun. I want that gun so bad. And that new Hellion, I like. I love it.
Oh man, the Hellion! I'm up in the air
It
because
is
yeah,
ugly.
it's a FAMAS basically, but God, it'd back a buzzard to have a make cooler though.
The only good thing about FAMASs is they've only been dropped once in the last 40 years.
So my bigger issue with bullpups is, yeah, they're kind of fucking awkward to shoot. All right, they really are. I mean, even the AUG is a little bit. It's not normal to me because it has a cross slide safety like a fucking shotgun. It's kind of odd. The only thing that's really familiar is the charging handle on it, which is almost HK style. It's right there in kind of the little forward position, and you can actually pull it back and lock it up. Um, but the other big issues is, whereas like your standard rifles, hell, even my G3, if you have a if you have like a malfunction or something, it can be an absolute nightmare to clear in some of the bullpups versus the like an AR. An AR is really not that hard at all to clear, or an AK for. I mean, what do you do to clear any fucking malfunction in AK? Pull the magazine, rack the gun. That's it. I mean, that fixes like every fucking thing. The AR, like the worst damn thing that you could really happen, other than a catastrophic, like out of battery or whatever, which is really rare these days, is the death jam where you get the expended brass coming back, and then it somehow, I don't even know how it does. It's fucking magic, but it flips up and gets caught on the gas tube and sticks up top, and it'll hold the bolt half-ass open, and you can't close it. And if you can't close the bolt, you can't open the receiver. If you can't open the receiver, you can't get the shit out. It's really fucking bad. That's why they call it a death jam. But you get some kind of fucked up shit like that, and some of these bullpups, like there's plenty of videos on the FS2000 with this little fucking toilet bowl and shit like that. How fucking hard it would be to get in there and get shit out, like a stuck case or whatever. That's some of the issues that a lot of people have with them, is the controls get funky, like trying to reload and everything. It's can be fucking weird. Not everybody's used to that type of shit. And just dealing with malfunctions and stuff on them. And some of them are kind of complicated the way they're put together.
Yep.
But again, now using the AK platform as the basis, obviously it's the most simple, the most reliable, and the most robust for a multitude of reasons, and that's why 2/3 of the planet still use it in one form or another. Yes, bullpups are a little more finicky. I just always like the benefit of its weight, its balance, its shortness for if you're doing CQC or MOT. It's just the benefit to me was better for a smaller package rifle as opposed to, again, what I was trained on, the M16A2, whereas this goddamn gun that went on and on and on forever out in front of me. The FAL's no better. The M14 was the same way. Here's these long barreled firearms, whereas at least now the technology's gotten better. The barrels and the manufacturer have gotten better, and in most cases, like you'd be more of the expert on this, the ammunition has gotten better. So I don't understand why America hasn't veered away from the AR platform, other than it's just tried and true, and we're terrified of change.
Nothing has really been innovative enough to really warrant the change, because the AR system really does just work. I mean, as much of an AK fan as I am, um, and as reliable as they are reliable. They still really aren't as reliable, in my opinion, as a good quality AR. And that really hurts me to say, but it is true.
But isn't it also the fact that you, at least with AKs, again, this is also going off of years of studying the Bush Wars and the border war with South Africa, you can just throw an AK at a peasant. Because look at the AKs that are still running around Afghanistan from the 70s to when they ran us out of the country. You're talking about shot out AKs who have had hundreds of thousands of rounds go through and pass down generation to generation, and they still work. They may not be as accurate or as solid performance wise as an AR, but it takes a special level of moron to break an AK.
Now, under extreme use and shit like that, yeah, the AK is going to live longer under just normal extreme use. But as there's been tests and shit before of, like, say consistent full auto fire or whatever, everything fails about the same damn time, just because heat's bad. Heat makes metal melt. Doesn't matter what the fuck it is, what kind of gun it is. Shit starts warping and whatnot. So, but as far as just living forever, if it's rusty as shit, stuff like that. So like your AR-15, if you get rust inside the bolt where basically the gas piston is, because there's a gas piston inside the bolt. If you get rust in there and that somebody starts hanging, you're gonna have problems. You get rust inside your locking lugs and shit in the barrel, you're gonna have problems. Hell, your firing pin fucking hangs up, you're gonna have problems. AKs, you just take that motherfucker and hit it with a hammer, and damn, she's good to go. You just break the bolt open, kick it, whatever, good to go.
I show you how we fix it on Russian space station.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll tell you something else on the bullpups and whatnot. Talking about their weight and shit. You know, my AUG weighs 8 pounds. Weighs 8 pounds. You know what my AR weighs? 4.5.
Huh.
So weight's not exactly there, which I posted a picture of my AUG in here. And it weighs 8 pounds with the suppressor and the scope on it with a fucking magazine in it. It's not exactly light.
No.
It's 2 pounds less than my G3.
No, I just wanted your opinion because you're the other one that I know has at least had you own a bullpup, so you're probably the best out of the four of us. I've got to shoot a few of them, and I would consider myself a bullpup fan, but I know there's also limitations to it. Like you said, if they get fucked up, they're finicky as shit to mess with because usually a lot of them, like even watching again Ian take apart the VHS Hellion, was like that's a lot of bits and pieces to pull out.
Yeah, they can be very complicated. And, well, hell, even, so in short, bullpup, like this AUG, perfect truck gun. You want a good truck gun, full size rifle that you can carry around in your shit? Yeah, absolutely perfect. The thing is just like anything else, you have to get used to the controls. You need to know the nuances. You need to understand how to clear jams, any problems, how to do the maintenance on it, etc. It's just like anything else. It's just different. And if it's built right, you don't actually need tools and shit. See, the other cool thing about like the AUG, which kind of helps it in the malfunction department, is it takes literally 1 second to pull the barrel out. So if you get a stuck case or whatever in it, instead of having to disassemble the whole goddamn thing, you can pull the barrel out, throw something down the bore, knock a fucking case out of it. Or at least be able to get to the backside of the chamber. It's very nice, actually. Also, it fits in a backpack.
Yeah, always good.
The picture I just posted in chat definitely won't fit in the backpack.
All right, I wanna transition to something since Elk's been a little bit quiet. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, Elk has been deep into the Red M scene, and that's the Red Dead Redemption RPG, the RP stuff that they do. And I love Red Dead, and I love cowboys. Aside from like the Cold War military stuff, cowboys and
we
Indians.
love elk.
And we do love elk. So, Elk, on a nightly basis, I see you walking around with that pump action shotgun. What else do you carry? Because you and the other freaking deputies, y'all seem to walk around like Conan the Barbarian with firearms. What are you all carrying?
So I carry. Let me pause my music.
Oh, so we're just not entertaining enough for you?
No, you were. I was listening to stuff because like I'm out of the conversation because I mean outside of my hunting rifles that I have, it's kind of like the whole car conversation. I was just kind of sitting there because that's my dad's shit. That's not me.
He's doing what I normally do.
Yeah.
Oh, you assholes.
So I carry a pump because it's got 5. It's 4 and then 5 or 5 in the total shotgun. You got 1 in the chamber, then 4 ready. Then I carry a Springfield because I mean you can pretty much drop anything with the Springfield from inside of Blackwater to the ridges outside of up there past the cemetery. And then I carry a Lamat, which for those that don't know is based on a real revolver that fired not only revolver rounds but also fired shotgun rounds.
A very finicky old Confederate weapon.
Yeah, and then that's about it, really. I mean, that's the only rifles I carry is that. I mean, because they want us to have a long rifle, then a shotgun, then our revolver.
You know, the auto shotgun in there is based around the Browning Auto 5, which
Yeah,
is
it's fucking garbage on there.
oh I
Yeah,
know,
it
but
is.
the Auto 5 is actually pretty fucking sweet.
It's
It's still
kind
a
of
damn good shotgun even to this day.
they were
Yeah, the
giving me shit
Rhodesians
because I
used them.
bought the what the fuck was this shitty ass repeater I bought? The Evans.
Oh, you never buy the Evans.
No,
Oh,
no, no. But actually, the undersheriff's like, I'm kind of glad you bought it. I was like, why is that? He's like, guys, if we need to put fucking lead down range really fucking fast, you're pulling that bitch out, and they're gonna keep their heads down when we fucking maneuver. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
well, touche. I'll just sit
Yeah.
here and fucking reload my fucking ass off.
you'd be like, okay, boss man, but you better up my pay for the week because that thing's gonna throw lead and I got to replace it.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to buy besides fucking food on there, besides food and. But I mean, so like, there's guns that are outlawed. Like, you can't run around with like a roam block because that's stupid because you're just gonna one shot everybody.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's pretty much our standard loadout. Is you need to have like a shotgun. It doesn't have to be the pump, but I mean,
They
unless
got
I want to just sit there and Doc Holiday.
Do they have the 1897 lever action shotgun?
They
Yeah.
do.
I couldn't remember if they did or not because it's been so long since I played. I need to get back into that game.
See, I'd go with the double barrel. Get those two off real quick. Just bye bye.
Well, I mean, like, so there's a couple of the marshals that run around with it, but like for me, like, because we're constantly patrolling, it's all about those 5 rounds that I have loaded. Because if you run up on us and you got your gun out and it's about to turn into a shootout, you know, that pump is going to sit there and just get either it's going to hit somebody or it's going to make them back up to where I can pull out my fucking pistol or my revolver or, the Springfield and just sit there and single shot those bastards. So it just kind of depends on the situation and what we use, but it's all like how our loadouts are based. It's just personal preference. You just need a long rifle, then a shotgun, and then a revolver of your choice.
I just also like that game because it's like right on that weird point in the evolution of guns when they were going from old black powder and percussion caps, because you still had like the Springfield musket in there. You've got some of the old freaking Colt Navy revolver, to where you
I just bought the Navy actually on there. I haven't used it yet.
Like it's just, and then they've starting to get the modern guns like the 1897 lever action, the pump shotgun, the Auto 5. You start seeing some of the more modern guns that went into World War I and II, and it's an interesting combination that the Wild West coming into the industrialized world.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely different to sit there and role play as too, because it's a lot more serious a role play setting. So like you can't, like, if you break your lingo and you're sitting there using modern lingo, it's like, hey, something's fucking wrong with the way you're talking.
Yeah, but I wanted to get your guns and your thoughts on some of the guns that were in Red Dead, so we could kind of add you back into the convo. You were over there falling asleep.
I would fall asleep. I was listening. I mean, it's just like I said, like guns and cars. It's not my bag, baby.
We'll do a hip hop and hand jobs episode for you, talking about your first time at the massage parlor soon.
Hey,
I do feel like an episode coming up here soon. We do need to talk musical taste, whatnot.
that's gonna fucking divide us.
Why?
Well, I listen to everything. It depends on my mood. Because like if
Same
I'm
way.
doing 5M, I'm listening to rock or rap. And when I'm doing Red M, it's country western music, new country rap. Then if I'm playing Madden, it's usually just straight up rap because I need to get in the mode to beat somebody's ass.
Oh, I didn't mean we could talk about it tonight. I just meant,
Oh, I know. I mean, that's probably gonna divide us because actually back in my day we had that fast Jamie music.
Waka Waka. Well, it looks like we're approaching about the end of what we're going to do tonight. Wouldn't we all agree?
I believe so.
All
We could
right.
always go deeper into the gun discussion. At one point in time, we talked about maybe dipping our toe into the Second Amendment conversation, but that can quickly get very political and very heated, and we don't want to upset anybody either on Twitch or within the four of us. We kind of had a discussion about that
Yeah.
off air, and I will be the first to admit, having lived up here in Yankee land for so long, I am a little bit different from the viewpoint than my three southern brothers, but at the same time, I've also been raised to be live and let live, and I don't give a shit.
Sounds like a really shitty whatever his name is, M. Light Shyamalan or whatever the fuck his name is.
M. Light Shamalama Ding Dong, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a really shitty one of his movies, Yankee Land.
And I mean, the things about dipping our toe into the policies part of it is we can definitely keep it apolitical, because we don't have to get into, oh, this side says you should do this side says you should do that. It's our opinions that we're sharing with each other and with y'all, and it's not any type of political statement. It's just a constitutional statement, if you ask me.
Yeah, we just make sure we stay on the straight and narrow and don't make any left turns.
And again, like I'll be the first one to admit, like we said at the beginning, guns are a tool. They're a tool that can take people's lives. We all advocate for gun safety. As we went through our origin stories, we all were basically told how we started off with a BB gun, and then we were taught by our fathers or family friends or so on and so forth how to properly handle firearms. And that's one thing I've even tried to do with my 11-year-old son. I haven't taught him how to shoot, but he saw my gun out one day because there was a shooting across the street, and I didn't know if it was going to come into our property. And he saw the gun. He took a step towards it. I told him, don't touch it. You ever see a firearm, you go get an adult. If it's you and other kids and somebody else tries to pick it up, you pick it up with 2 fingers and you find the nearest adult. You don't touch it until I teach you how to handle it properly, because even though it's just an inanimate object, it can hurt people in the hands of an uneducated, unprepared person. I think we all agree here, because we've all got kids. Every school shooting is a tragedy, and there's a way to prevent it. The answer is not getting rid of the gun. It is educating people on the guns and how best to use them and how to keep the people that don't need to have guns away from them. So that's about as political as I'm going to get into that side of it, but it's just...
So I forgot I do have a funny BB gun story.
Okay.
So it was about that age where, most of us, if our grandpa told us a thing like, hey, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, some of us in this channel might take that literal. My grandparents were living in Kansas at the time, and my grandma had these 2 blue jays that always came and sit on a windowsill. And there they sat one day while I was out there with my BB gun. My grandpa went to the garage to grab a target, and I saw said blue jays, and I pulled the trigger. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Boy, did I get my ass chewed from my grandma, but not as bad as my grandpa did. She said, why'd you shoot those birds? And I said, hey, Papa said I could kill 2 of them with 1 stone. And she said, oh, did he? And I was like, that's what he said. Yeah. So yeah, like I'll never forget, like, cause like she was pissed, like she was pretty like adamant about those damn blue jays, and I was like, oh, Papa said I could kill 2 of them, one with 1 stone, and this has got many a stone. But yeah, then I got the early talking to about, don't shoot anything unless you're gonna intend on killing it, and I was like, well, Papa, I could definitely kill them because she was mad.
Yep, we used to use our BB guns and shoot bullfrogs.
They made a weird noise.
What, the bullfrogs?
After you shot them,
they make a hissing noise.
Yeah. Sorry, that's probably really crossing some TOS.
Yeah. Well,
I wasn't advocating for for animal cruelty. No, we legitimately killed them because they were killing the fish in the pond, and we actually had 2 cats choked to death on them. So it was basically trying to keep the population low.
Yeah, they definitely aren't
I
tasty.
wasn't just shooting them because I was some sick ass kid. Never advocate for killing an animal without a reason.
Yeah, they're definitely not tasty animals when they're deep
No,
fried.
they were not.
Well, what we began this episode with is we want to stress again, which if you're in our Twitch chat right now or anything like that, I posted gun safety rules to live by. And I think it was either 4 or 5 simple rules. Always practice safe gun handling. Teach those that don't know around you safe gun handling, and that's what we promote here is being safe with firearms, because there's nothing funny about accidentally shooting yourself after the
They
fact.
are
Maybe
always loaded. Always
yes,
loaded.
any gun you see, I mean, that's something I've been stressing and teaching even myself playing with guns and stuff. It's just something. I mean, if you have kids and you're interested in teaching your kids gun safety, start with Nerf guns. It's the easiest way to do it. I mean, yeah, you're going to shoot each other with them, but before you get to of it, teach them, hey, that's loaded. Every gun you see anywhere is loaded. Don't be Alec Baldwin. Every gun's loaded. I mean,
Say, don't be Kurt Cobain. You end up scatterbrained.
well, I mean, he knew what he was doing. Alec Baldwin was under the pretense. Anyway, we're not getting into that. Nope, not getting into that. But every gun is loaded, and always know what you're aiming at. Don't point it at anything you don't intend to destroy. And yeah, that's what we're preaching with all of us talking about how fun guns are. Guns are extremely fun, but they're dangerous. Like Max said, they're tools. An inert gun isn't going to harm you. The gun in the hand of a moron can and will harm you. So educate people, educate yourself, and yeah, that's the point we want to get across.
Yep,
I think I think we can just about close this. Well, nope. Go ahead. No,
I was gonna say thank you for posting the gun safety thing. I didn't even see you didn't even notice you posted that until you said it. And that's awesome. That's exactly the thing that everybody should know. Like guns are fun in the right hands with the right education, just like a car, just like anything else.
Graham said, "Don't shoot like an Imperial stormtrooper."
Well.
I have
stormtroopers were good shots,
so I will if I want to.
Hey, stormtroopers were good shot. They let Luke and them get away.
I was about to say, if you really want to bring the geek out in me,
dude,
we'll have this conversation.
I will play the Star Wars game all night long.
I could end the podcast right now. That way, everybody can go to bed. Huckleberry.
For another time, sir. So. We'll wrap it up with that statement because we'll have to fill in everybody on that inside joke later. Thanks again for coming to episode 7 with our good friends Elk.
Gooses.
The belt-fed sniper Spanky.
Belt-fed spider.
Later, baby.
And Papa Swookie, the educator and innovator.
Don't fuck kids. See y'all later.
Jesus Christ.
You're worried about Kurt Cobain?